Chicago police were forced to call for reinforcements downtown on Saturday after multiple nights of teens gathered for a teen takeover invitation on social media, engaging in rioting, violence, and shooting. Breitbart News reports the crowds of unruly teens steadily grew from Wednesday night through Saturday night as police struggled to head off violence.
With a car, they were standing on multiple cars, jumping on cars, and one of the cars just kept driving in circles, which I believe that's the one that they set on fire.
A local Chicago journalist reported on sudden gunfire erupting along Michigan Avenue.
We heard at least 4 gunshots while we were standing at Michigan and Washington. We ran along with another TV news crew just to get to safety. Maybe 5 minutes after that, we heard even more gunshots.
2 boys, 16 and 17 years old, were victims of gunshots fired into a crowd by an unknown attacker. Both were taken to a local hospital and said to be in fair condition. Police were forced to escort tourists and bystanders around and away from the rioting until it was brought under control and crowds were dispersed. Mike?
Tim, joining me now is the Executive Director of America First Works, Ashley Hayek. Ashley, welcome to Victory News.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. After the hundreds of teens swarmed downtown Chicago, as we just saw, fighting, looting, and shooting took place on the famous Magnificent Mile. New mayor Brandon Johnson was asked if he condoned the teens looting, and here's his answer.
What I'm saying is you can't condone the looting that corporations continue to do every single day when they take tax dollars from black, brown, white folks all over the city of Chicago so that they can turn a profit.
So, Ashley, let's take a look at some footage from over the weekend and then get your response to Mayor Johnson blaming Chicago businesses for looting citizens. What's your reaction and response to that?
New mayor, same policies. Unfortunately, the people of Chicago have gotten another defund the police mayor that will be taking over. This weekend, 32 people were shot in Chicago. You look at Portland, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, all run by leaders who have the policies of defunding the police. And this is what you're going to see. This is what you get when you support policies that put criminals first and community members last. Chicago alone, stolen cars up 135%, according to the Chicago Police Department. Theft, 22%. Robbery, up 15%. And this is this year, which was already up from previous years. So the problem is only going to continue to get worse if you do not fully fund the police, allow them to do their jobs. And you know, the people that are actually hurt the most are the black and brown communities that he's claiming to protect.
It truly looks like a war zone. Well, 24 members of the Sinaloa cartel have charges brought against them by the DOJ right here in the U.S. Do you think this will make a dent in the fentanyl crisis at our southern border?
No, it won't, because the administration will not close the border. In 2021, enough fentanyl was caught at the border, was confiscated to kill 2.5 billion people, or every American 7 times. So until this administration makes the decision to close the border, we are going to see more human trafficking, more fentanyl, more cartels than ever before. So yes, was this a step in the right direction? Sure. Is that enough to solve or address the problem? Absolutely not. But this actually does show that this administration knows what's happening, they know what is wrong, and they refuse to do anything about it to stop the problem to begin with.
Yeah, maybe we'll call it a baby step. Well, Ashley, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has discovered roads and cars are racist. Here's his point.
We see a lot of racial disparities. Black and brown Americans, tribal citizens, and rural residents much more likely to lose their lives, whether it's in a car or as a pedestrian being hit by a car.
Ashley, I've got to ask you, how is driving a car and having an accident or being hit by a car a racist incident?
Well, I have another question. If it's racist, then in Maine, where you have a population of 96% white people, just experienced a train derailment, which you reported on earlier today. Or how about Palestine, Ohio, which is, Palestine, Ohio is 96%, Maine is 93% of Caucasian people. And look at the train spillage that's happened in both of those places. I mean, we have a transportation secretary that needs to resign immediately. He has not done his job. We've seen this with the flight delays and the flight grounding. surroundings. We've seen this with all of the train derailments, and yet he wants to talk about something that is an inanimate object being, quote, racist. That's a major problem.
A little bizarre. Well, liberal California Democrat Katie Porter was asked about Riley Gaines' efforts to protect women's rights and ability to compete fairly in sports. Here is her response.
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
So is Riley taking physical assaults and attacks from trans activists in order to get attention on social media?
This topic is one that absolutely blows my mind. This is a group where we, again, on your program, just saw Kamala Harris saying, when you attack the rights of women, you attack America. Well, how is physically attacking a woman because she is upset about men entering women's sports not an attack on our country? We have a crisis right now, and they want to talk two times. We're winning on the issue on the transgender. It is wrong. They want to subject our children to genital and mutilation, And so they cannot come out ahead on this issue whatsoever. So they're just going to keep talking it.
Asha Hayek from America First Works, thank you for your time.